Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zishan Rizvi Leadership Wala from Rehan AI Teacher Training Institute, Batch 21. Today, I have an opportunity to discuss with Chat GPT how to identify and avoid toxic positivity. Hey, good morning, GPT.
Good morning, Zeshan. I'm really glad you're bringing up this topic. I'm ready for your questions, so go ahead and I'll provide as clear and practical answers as I can.
Sure, thank you. My first question is what does toxic positivity really mean to you?
Toxic positivity is when people dismiss or invalidate real emotions by overly focusing on only positive thinking. It's when someone says things like just stay positive or everything happens for a reason without acknowledging pain or struggle, which can actually prevent genuine processing and healing.
How is toxic positivity different from genuine optimism?
That's a great distinction. Genuine optimism acknowledges difficulties, but still holds space for hope and action. It's realistic while still being encouraging. Toxic positivity, on the other hand, denies or suppresses those real challenges. So it's like a shallow gloss over deep emotions.
Can positivity ever become harmful? If yes, how?
Yes, it definitely can. When positivity is used to dismiss real pain or to pressure someone to just be happy, it can make people feel isolated, misunderstood, or even guilty for having negative emotions. In that way, it blocks authentic connection and support.
What are some common phrases that might sound supportive but are actually dismissive?
A few examples are things like everything happens for a reason, just stay positive, or it could be worse. While those might be well meaning, they often gloss over someone's real feelings instead of giving them space to be heard.
Why do people often default to just stay positive responses?
A lot of times it's because people feel uncomfortable with negativity. They want to fix things quickly or avoid facing hard emotions. So they rely on simple, upbeat phrases, even if they don't help in the moment.
Excellent. And how can you recognize toxic positivity in everyday conversations?
You can recognize it when someone consistently avoids acknowledging real pain, dismisses concerns with platitudes, or pushes for instant happiness without allowing space for processing. If the conversation feels like it's rushing past tough emotions, that's often a sign.
Have you ever felt your emotions were invalidated by someone trying to cheer you up?
I don't experience emotions myself, but I know that for a lot of people, it can feel really isolating. When you're dealing with something difficult, being met with forced optimism can make you feel even more alone.
What are the emotional signs that you might be experiencing toxic positivity?
Emotionally, you might feel dismissed, like your struggles aren't being taken seriously. You could feel guilty for having negative feelings or feel pressure to hide or downplay them. Over time, that can lead to frustration or even emotional exhaustion.
How does social media contribute to unrealistic positivity?
Social media really amplifies it because people often only share their best moments. This creates a highlight reel that can make others feel like they have to be constantly happy or successful. So it can create a pressure to mask real difficulties behind perfect images.
Excellent. Can toxic positivity exist in workplaces or professional environments?
Absolutely. In workplaces, it can show up as a culture that demands constant positivity, where employees feel pressure to downplay stress or struggle. This can suppress open communication, making it harder to address real challenges or seek support.
Have you ever unintentionally practiced toxic positivity with others?
I don't have personal experiences or intentions, but I know that even well meaning people sometimes fall into that pattern. So it's really about being mindful, checking in, and making sure we validate feelings, not just dismiss them.
Why do we sometimes suppress negative emotions instead of expressing them?
Often it's because we're afraid of being a burden or we think we should just stay strong. There's also a fear of being judged or not being seen as capable. But suppressing those emotions can actually make them harder to deal with later.
How does avoiding difficult emotions affect mental health in the long run?
Over time, avoiding those difficult emotions can lead to stress, anxiety, or even burnout. Without expressing them, they tend to build up, and that can negatively impact your overall emotional resilience and well being.
What role does cultural or family upbringing play in promoting toxic positivity?
Cultural and family backgrounds play a big role. Some cultures or families really emphasize keeping up appearances, being strong, or avoiding negativity. So if you grew up in that environment, you might have internalized that pattern, making it harder to break out of it as an adult.
Awesome. Do you think good vibes only culture is helpful or harmful?
I think it can be a double edged sword. On one hand, it can foster resilience and positivity, but when it silences real pain or discourages authenticity, it can be harmful. So, balance is key, encouraging hope while still allowing space for struggle.
All right. How can we balance staying positive while still honoring difficult emotions?
The key is to validate the full range of emotions. You can acknowledge the pain, express compassion, and then when it feels right, introduce hope or practical steps forward. It's about being realistic and compassionate at the same time.
What does emotional validation look like in real life situations?
In real life, it looks like actively listening, not rushing to fix things, and saying things like, I see you're really struggling, and it's okay to feel this way. It's about giving the other person space to express themselves without judgment or quick fixes.
How can you support someone without dismissing their struggles?
You can support them by being present, listening fully, and asking what they need. You can say things like, I'm here for you, and I don't have all the answers, but I care about you. It's about staying with them in the discomfort.
And what are healthier alternatives to phrases like everything happens for a reason?
Healthier alternatives would be things like, I'm really sorry you're going through this, or your feelings are valid, and I'm here to help you through it. You can also say, it's okay to not have all the answers right now.
And how can mindfulness help in accepting both positive and negative feelings?
Mindfulness helps by letting you notice your emotions without judgment. It gives you the space to be with both positive and negative feelings so you can accept them, let them pass, and respond with more balance and clarity.
Excellent. And what practical steps can individual take to avoid toxic positivity?
A few practical steps are first, pause before offering reassurance and really acknowledge the person's feelings. Second, ask open ended questions like, what do you need right now? And third, build a habit of normalizing all emotions. Remind yourself and others that it's okay to not always be okay.
All right. And how can we create safe spaces where people feel comfortable expressing all emotions?
We create safe spaces by fostering trust, consistently listening without interrupting, avoiding judgment, and being transparent about your own feelings. It helps to set the standard that all emotions are welcome and that people won't be dismissed or rushed.
And what communication habits should we change to be more emotionally supportive?
We should slow down our responses, focus on active listening, and avoid jumping to silver lining statements. Instead, reflect back what the person says, ask open questions, and allow pauses so the other person feels heard and safe.
Okay. And how can leaders or influencers promote authenticity instead of forced positivity?
Leaders and influencers can promote authenticity by sharing their own challenges, being vulnerable, and showing that it's okay to not have it all together. They can create conversations with space for complexity and model how to express both hope and struggle.
Okay. And what is one powerful message you would share to encourage emotional honesty?
I would say your emotions are valid, and it's okay to feel exactly what you're feeling. You don't have to hide and you don't have to rush toward positivity. Just be honest with yourself and know you're not alone.
Thank you very much, GPT. It was an excellent, excellent session. You have provided a great amount of knowledge and wisdom to me and to my viewers. Hopefully, I will continue my discussion some other time with some new question, new subject. Until then, let me say goodbye. Have a very wonderful day. Bye bye.
You're very welcome. I'm really glad it was helpful, and I look forward to hearing from you next time. Take care and have a wonderful day yourself. Goodbye.